Welcome to my blog, a place where common sense rules and political correctness is dead. When you think about it, this only makes good sense. There's those two conditions, using common sense and being politically correct, can't possibly coexist. I'm starting this project because I, like many of you, am fed up with the way our country is being run. But I decided that getting angry about the situation is only a starting point. It does no good unless I take that energy and channel it into some sort of action. So this is my beginning of that process. I've determined that in order to have an impact on things, we must be informed and we must be involved. So let's look at those 2 points briefly. Being informed means more than just listening to the media tell us the same things over and over again till we begin to accept them as facts. It means actually doing some of your own research to find out the facts framed within the context of the entire story, not just a piece that fits someone's agenda. The media is not fulfilling this role. When you read news stories online, so often you'll find the exact same storylines published through the Associated Press or the AP as writers from different publications simply pick up a story and give you a rewrite of a story that they found on AP. Now I know that you're saying, but I don't have the time. I can't afford to do that. The reality is that we can afford not to do it. We just can't. The good news is that if you have a computer and access to the internet, the ability to access information today is stunning. I've got just one word for you: Google. Yeah, you have to sort through the good and the bad and the fact from the fiction, but you can do it. And I want this blog page to help all of us towards the goal of being informed. I hope to expand this site to include wikis that will allow you, the user, to contribute to the cause of common sense as applied to our great country. I'll have more on that at a later date. Now let's touch on my second point, being involved. I'm afraid that the days of simply saying, hey, I voted, and calling it all good are over. That simply is not an acceptable level of involvement. In fact, that mentality simply feeds the political machine that's been hijacked, driven wildly off the road that our founding fathers laid out before us when they created this great country. Elections have become big money beauty contests of sound bites and media manipulation. Then, once wild sums of money have been spent and the votes are counted, these politicians know that they can go back to the business of politics as usual. They know that the voters don't pay any attention to them until election time. Election time is when they carefully control their message, paint the image that the most voters want to see. The rest of their time is off camera, so to speak, and it's not pretty. Just try turning on C-SPAN, watch a committee hearing, any committee hearing. You'll see what I mean. Did you know that the re-election rates for incumbents are higher than 90%? 90% for a Congress that has a job approval rating of 20%. What's wrong with this picture? 71% of people polled disagreed and disapprove of the job that Congress is doing. 9% are unsure, and 20% approve. Yet when it comes time to vote, we have over 90% of the same people going back to Congress. It's been said many times that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, yet expecting different results. This clearly doesn't fall under the umbrella of common sense. Why is this happening? Again, it's because it's how those in power want it to be, so that they can stay there. The election process has become a sham because lazy, uninformed electorate has made it a sham. That's us, folks. We gotta face it, admit it, and fix it. Being involved means many things. One result means creating accountability. We have to make sure that our elected officials are doing the common sense things that we want from our government. We have to let them know that we're watching them, that we look at how they vote, that we know what committees they're on, that we know if they actually have the backbone to take a stand on the issues that are important to us, or if they're simply pandering to the biggest blocks of intellectually lazy, uninformed, and easily manipulated voters to make sure that they stay in office. We have to hammer them when they cave. We have to cheer them when they get it right. We have to make our voices heard on a regular and consistent basis in a reasoned, respectful way. Being involved also means getting greater numbers of intelligent, hardworking, principled, patriotic, results-oriented people to run for office. People who don't feel the need to apologize for being a part of the greatest country on the planet. People who use common sense to address the real issues of today without being paralyzed by virulently vocal minority special interests. Help find those people. Encourage them to serve the country. Support them when they're willing to do so. All right, so now I've begun. That means I'll need to walk the walk and actually do something myself. I'll try my best to do what I can do. This blog is my start. You have to do the same thing in your way. Stop the complaining and let's do something to be part of the solution.